supposedly for low income. And the hope is that we will have some people of a higher income so that this community is not overwhelmed with low income housing. When we get overcome with low income housing, then, and we don't have businesses going in, you can't survive as a community. And that really concerns me because I think we're at a point in terms of the developments of low income that we need to be looking for those high-end. You know, I know Kelly, you were just giving an example, but I welcome those high-end houses because we would bring in the income that this community needs to thrive.
And you're speaking of the San Miguel Community Plan, right, through the county? You
Right.
worked on it for a long time?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
We have lots of those copies if any of you want them. A bunch of them.
Yes, and so that piece concerns me. The other thing that I really notice is there's, and I know you said it was an update from so long ago, but there's a ton of regulations in here that to me are pretty extensive. And they include things that are all part of this wastewater plan that will be taken over. Some of those to me, like the wastewater treatment to treat the water to make it, you get your water trade-off thing or whatever you call that.
Right.
That's a water thing as well, and the sanitary wastewater system is actually paying for it, which means, unfortunately, the people in town are paying for it because the terrace doesn't have the sewer service, the sanitary wastewater service. Too many times they've changed the name of that over the years. The one thing that I noticed as an example is there's a sewer discharge area proposed in this. I'm not sure how to explain that, but it says like the cesspool trucks who come, if they clean out a septic tank, then there has to be, they have to dump in a correct place, which I'm assuming is somewhere at the wastewater treatment plant. It's building in a lot of requirements mandated by the state for this community. And to me, they're very expensive. Where are the septic tanks? Mostly on the terrace. But the terrace is not contributing to the cost. That really bothers me. Seeing that happen in many instances here. And there are other rules like that, or similar kinds of things about you can't dump certain chemicals into the wastewater system or you get fined. Okay, I'm okay with that, but how in the world do you determine that? You know, I mean, if you see me standing by the water main dumping and you mention that, you know, the dumping into a water main, you can't dump certain chemicals and stuff. Well, I can't quite see how that's going to be controlled. So it's like sort of overwhelming in terms of all of these regulations that are actually in there. And for me, it's going to take some time to kind of absorb it and understand it. And I'm sure Kelly will be helpful when I get to that point of having good questions. Thank you.
Do I have to go to the front if I have to ask just a simple question?
Ask a simple question.
Perfect. Currently, our wastewater system doesn't accommodate the pumping trucks that come and do the septics currently. My understanding is they have to take it farther into town.
Correct.
So the fact that she's alluding to the terrace not contributing to the expansion of it is because it
They're
doesn't.
not using it.
Yeah, correct. Even with us pumping a septic, it's not being processed at our local facility.
And when you have your septic system pumped, you're contributing to wherever it's going because you're paying the dumping fees for what comes out of your tank.
Right, and the other piece of it though is, I mean, is Is there a way that we could look at that where that could be possibly a moneymaker then for us, is if we accepted that, or are we looking at going down a rabbit hole that would be?
You talking about accepting, pumping trucks to dump in our facility?
Correct.
So I have a comment, but I wanna make sure public comment's
Okay, we'll address it in a moment.
No problem, that's,
Is there any other public comment? No. Is there any other board comments or questions? Go ahead, John.
over. So, Ms. Buckman is correct, there's a lot of code, a lot of things that are in there. Probably 30% of it is stuff that we may never actually get to. But it's current regulation, it's stuff that is in there to protect the district. And yeah, if any one of you or anybody in this room goes and dumps something down in your toilet that you shouldn't, there's no way to tell who did that. But if we see you out in the middle of the night dumping a whole chemical truck into the sewer, if we don't have something in the code saying that you can't do that, then you go right ahead. Logically, you wouldn't want to do that, but, regarding the septic haulers, we are working on a place for them at the treatment plant to accept that material. That is material we would charge for, so assuming that everybody on the terrace had their septic tank pumped, and their hauler knew that they could come and dump it at our facility, then they would come and dump at our facility, we would bill them for the according amount of septage that they brought over. Currently, my understanding is the only place that will take septage is Santa Maria wastewater treatment plant.
I don't know if they do anymore either.
Talked to
They stopped for a
FRM,
while.
talked to FRM and they said that's the only place that they can go. We already, FRM, Fluid Resource Management, had approached me and asked me if we'd be willing to take it, or take their septage, because the other ways they have to go to Santa Maria. And so we're talking to them about what that would be, how much that would be, and what they would pay for that. But
Do we know what Santa Maria collects for that? We could
It's-
find out, couldn't we?
basically a penny a gallon,
Really,
it's not a lot.
big money maker.
They charge you more than that.
Pardon me?
They charge you.
Oh, I'm sure they do. FRM is
That's-
very expensive.
That's what I'm talking about,
Right.
is what does Santa Maria charge people bringing in a truck.
So
It's
that's
not a
something
penny
that we
gallon.
would have to identify what our cost is to handle that material, and then we would charge accordingly.
yeah, cause if you factored in the hourly expense of the hourly wages going down, and plus the fuel cost of the truck going back and forth, I mean, we could bump that price, I would think, and still be able to accommodate. But like I said, it just depends.
Even if we matched what they're doing, we'd be more attractive just because of our location and what you're talking about, transportation costs.
Right.
100%.
I know that, where my family lives, they accept the septic, sewage, and they bring in about $200,000 a year, just from septic trucks going in.
I don't know that we would get that far.
I don't think so, but even if we get like 20,000, that would still help, you know,
I think they charge you more around 10 cents a gallon.
might be.
The other thing is,
Maybe I didn't look
I
at that.
apologize.
This is the trucking.
But I need you to state your name and in record out loud,
Sure, Fred Costner
and then address.
8640 San Pablo.
Thank you.
So we are, in this code, we're looking at a lot of different things to protect the district and to open the district up in order to be able to handle some things in the future. Doesn't mean that we're gonna do them right away, doesn't mean we're gonna do them ever, but.
right.
Same with the water code.
Okay, let's move on to item 3. Discussion on status of assuming maintenance of landscaping at specific locations within the district.
So this was asked to be brought back for further discussion regarding taking over the landscaping and maintenance of the landscaping along Mission Street. The request was also geared towards maintenance of Father Reginald Park and the gateway signs at the buildings of the district. Sorry,
Gateway signs?
the one that says
What
San
was
Miguel,
San Miguel?
the one that says San Miguel.
And
I'm just bringing back what I was asked to bring.
Discover San Miguel.
yeah, no,
I drive by every day, I don't pay attention.
right. You're talking about water.
No, like we whack around it or
Oh, the main, okay.
maintenance of it.
I'm
Not-
sorry,
We're not gonna
apologize.
water it.
I misunderstood what you were saying.
So-
So this is what we were approached on, is for all of these areas?
So these are the three different things, three that were talked about at the previous meeting where this was asked to be brought back. It's mainly the 3 blocks of irrigated land on Mission Street, Father Reginald Park, and the 2 gateway signs.
Okay.
So the gateway signs would be pretty minimal, be weed whacking once in a while, you know, basic maintenance. I don't think anything would be really done there. Father Reginald Park, we would probably have to purchase a mower or contract it out, and there would be some minimal maintenance initially, but not a whole lot. There's some irrigation work that needs to be done and road there. The majority of the request was for Mission Street. For us to take over Mission Street, initially, there would be about a $46,000, $47,000 investment. Potentially, been talking to Mr. Sanders about a grant that he's received to help fix the irrigation on Mission Street, and I've been talking with the water conservation people from the county, and as Blaine mentioned earlier, they do have money that they are willing to help us a little bit with that.
Who does?
Water conservation with the county,
Cash grass.
your cash for grass people.
Oh.
No, they're not gonna pay us to take out the plants.
We asked.
We asked.
We asked.
We asked, they
$1
said,
square foot?
They said it's the county property.
It is county property.
but, so the basic costs are, I outlined those there. I talked to LAFCO. LAFCO doesn't have any issue with it. Basically, the district would just have to pass a resolution saying that we're gonna take over those and we're gonna maintain those, whatever limit that is. And then the board would have to pass a budget to obviously provide those services. Initially, there would be money have to be put out to fix the irrigation so we can reduce the watering. Like I said, the county is willing to put more money into that if we can prove enough of a reduction in watering. Which I think, based on what's going on now with the irrigation, I think we could get that pretty easily. Then annually, looking at potentially $18,000 annually to maintain it, paying somebody to come out 4 days a week, or 4 hours a week, and minimal supplies and watering costs based on what is being done.
Another district employee?
It'd be using the same district employees we have now. We would just have to carve out 4 hours a week.
I thought we were already overextended.
We are, but once we have the operators of the treatment plant, that will reduce some of the hours for the people who are not at the treatment.
Boy.
So-
That's years away. Okay. I'm just curious right now.
You'd be better off just, there's a lot of really good landscapers around. Just contract them to come in and maintain it. You know, then you know exactly how much money you were spending and so on. You know, they come in every week or 2 weeks.
We're gonna take board comment here.
Yeah.
We'll come on to the public in a minute here. Is there any board comment?
Joe?
No.
The figure you presented for ongoing costs, that includes, the park, mission, as well as the signs?
The ongoing costs would include all 3 sites.
Okay.
If we weren't doing the park and weren't doing the signs, then that's probably an hour a week off of that.
An hour a week for what?
So right now it's taking into account the park and the gateway signs. And if you were to not want anything to do with those, then it would probably take about an hour off of that. So instead of 4 hours a week, it'd be 3 hours a week.
Not much difference.
I can see so many things wrong with this that, I mean, first of all, why do we wanna put one of our employees out on the freeway, park on the shoulder up there where they put that sign and work around there? Why would we wanna open one of our employees to that exposure?
Well, if this is something the district is willing to pursue, then I'd be more than happy to
Well,
solicit costs from contractors, but I don't wanna waste their time if you guys really want this.
I don't know why we would be spending the money on this and any of it, when we're still trying to figure out what we already have going on in-house. Is there any other comments?
If you have more comments, I'm gonna leave the floor
I'll
to you.
go after you, that's fine.
Well, I mean, this is coming out of the lighting, department, where we have a significant amount of reserve money usually after every year, is that not correct?
We do have a reserve every year.
Yeah,
How much?
I don't know exactly.
the numbers looked at about 60,000 every year from historically what we use versus what we bring in property taxes.
A year,
Yeah,
so we'd have a $600,000 fund in 10 years,
well, right now,
surplus?
I don't know if it's that much. I mean, I could look into it and get back to you guys, but I don't know what it is on the top of my
because
head.
I know we're bringing about $90,000 to $100,000 a year in property tax for the lighting.
I think the property tax this year was was supposed to be 113,000, and I think last year we spent around 80,000, so
You said 80,000? I thought it was 38 on that, but
38,000 out of 100.
it was significantly pretty low on the budget, I remember that. That's why.
Yeah, I don't have it with me, so I have to look into it. But yes, this would be coming from the lighting fund. There is surplus money in the lighting fund, plenty to cover what we were projecting, and if we're able to contract it out, then that would just be, it would probably be at the same price or less. So, yeah, but I don't wanna waste my time, I don't wanna waste the contractor's time if this is not something that the board is seriously interested in.
Is it $3,000 to buy a mower?
Yeah, but I looked at, that was a guess, I looked at prices since then, there's like $1,000, $1,500.
$1,500 for a really nice riding mower.
Yeah.
It's more if you start adding bagging, rear bagger, it's another $300. Trailer's another $100.
Yeah, but we don't need all that.
You really don't. You don't need the mower at all.
If you guys don't want to mow the park.
I don't know why we would take it on.
Replacement reconstruction of water lines on Mission Street, $40,000.
That's a pretty conservative estimate.
Is that for irrigation